All right, guys, here we are at the second translation, well, the second part of the second translation for stage 16 of Cambridge Latin, Rex Spectaculum .2, so the king is putting on a show. Let's jump into it. Rex servis signum dated. So the king gave a sign to the slaves. Okay, dative plural right there. Perfect tense verb. Servus Germanicus, qui hoc signum expectabat statum cum ursa processit et hospitibus eam ostendit. So the German slave who was waiting for this sign immediately proceeded with the bear, so went forward with the bear, and showed it to the guests. So eam is a demonstrative pronoun from ise id. It's referring back to that bear, the ursa. Both of those verbs, processit and ostended, are perfect tense. Expectabat is imperfect tense, and it's the verb of the relative clause right there. So hoc is a demonstrative pronoun also, modifying signum. Statum is an adverb. Right. Bellimicus similarque hoc vidit sorexit et ad medium triclinium contendit. Bellimicus, at the same time as he saw this, got up and rushed to the middle of the triclinium. So when we see similarque, we'll have to say, we'll translate it as at the same time as. Both vidit and sorexit and contendit are perfect tense verbs. And then he rushed to literally mid-triclinium. So these are both accusative singulars, but we're going to translate it as the middle of the triclinium. Mi dum norix clamavit facila est tibi iocos facere, sed ursam tractare non audes. Mi dum norix, this is vocative right here. He shouted, perfect tense verb. It is easy for you to make jokes, but you do not dare to handle a bear. Okay, so this is this construction that we learned a couple stages ago. So neuter adjective plus est plus dative pronoun plus infinitive plus direct object. Right? So it is easy for you, personal pronoun, to make jokes. Right? We get the word jocundity from this, iokos. And then here we go. Audes is our main verb here, and it's taking the complementary infinitive tractare. So you do not dare to handle a bear. And audes is where we get the word audacious from. Ego non timio, ego quem tu dirides, ursam tractere audeo. I do not fear. I, whom you make fun of, dare to handle the bear. All right, so ego is the personal pronoun. It's the subject of this sentence, and it's the subject of the next sentence. So we've got two egos. All of these verbs, timeo, dirides, and audeo, are all present tense. Quem tu dirides is a relative clause. Its antecedent is ego, which is why it's masculine and singular. Quem is accusative, though, because it's the direct object. So you are deriding whom, and that whom is referring back to me. Tu is another personal pronoun that's the subject of this. Audeo is taking the complementary infinitive, which is taking the direct object or some. Okay. Omnes bellimicum spectabant attoniti. Everyone was looking at Bellimicus astonished. All right, so attoniti is technically an adjective that's modifying omnes. So everyone astonished was looking at Bellimicus. But you can translate it adverbially or as close to adverbially as you'd like to. Bellimicus qui servum iam dimisserat ursam ad dumnorgem duxit. All right, so Bellimicus, who now had dismissed the slave, led the bear towards Dumnorix. All right, so we have perfect tense verb there, duxit, pluperfect tense verb demisserat inside of that relative clause, and it's referring back to Bellimicus, right? You can tell qui is nominative and masculine and singular. It's masculine and singular because of Bulimicus. It is nominative because it is the subject of the miserat. None tu quoque orsam tractare vis. None is going to introduce a question, and it's expecting a yes answer. So surely you also want to handle the bear. Right? Vis is a present tense verb. Tractare is the complementary infinitive. Orsam is the direct object, and quoque is the adverb. Rogavit insolens, nonne tu hospitibus spectaculum dare vis. So he asked arrogantly, perfect tense verb plus another participle right there. It's a verbal adjective, right? So insolens means arrogantly. Nonne, so another expectation of a yes answer. So surely you want to give a show to the guests, right? So main verb, complementary infinitive, direct object, dative of interest or reference, and tu is the subject, personal pronoun. Dumnorix impavidus statim surrexit et bellimicum derisit. So Dumnorix, fearless, impavidus, statim, immediately got up and derided and made fun of Bellimicus. So two perfect tense verbs, statum is an adverb, and Bellimicum is the direct object of derisit. Facile est mihi inquit, anc ursam superare, te quoque umuncule, superare possum. So this is the same construction we've seen before of neuter adjective plus est plus dative plus infinitive plus direct object. So it is easy for me, he said, to overcome this bear. You also, so te is accused of direct object, you also, homuncule. And homuncule, it means little man. It's a homunculus is a diminutive, but it also, in later terms, means a not fully formed human. It's a wonderful insult. So you also, little man, and this is a vocative, by the way. I am able, possum, to overcome. So I'm able to overcome you also, little man. Tum ceteri, qui antia temu verant, valde cacina verant. So then the others who previously, before this, had been afraid, laughed a great deal, a lot. So ceteri is the subject, cacina verant is the main verb, just a perfect tense verb. Valde is an adverb. This relative clause right here is referring back to ceteri. So qui is masculine plural and nominative. It is masculine and plural because ceteri is masculine and plural. It is nominative because it's the subject of tum, tim, erant, which is a pluperfect tense verb for the verb timeo, which means to be afraid. And antea is it's an adverb here. So who had been afraid before this, previously? Bellimicus ubi cacinos audivit, furens ursam pulsavit, et iam ad dumnorgem impullit. So Bellimicus, when he heard the laughter, the laughing, raging, punched the bear. So he, raging, punched the bear and impelled, so pushed it towards Dumnorix. Okay, so ubi introduces a temporal clause with a perfect tense verb, accusative direct object right there. Furens is another one of those participles, verbal adjectives. So he is we get the word fury from this, but he's in a state of fury, and that's modifying Bellimicus. Perfect tense verb pulsavit, and the direct object is ursam. Impullit is another perfect tense verb. Eam is the direct object, and it's referring back to the bear. It's a demonstrative pronoun. Subito ursa saewe se vertit, et bellimicum ferociter percossit. So suddenly, the savage bear, turned itself and struck Telemachus fiercely, ferociously. Okay, so subito is an adverb. Vertitse is the perfect tense verb with a reflexive pronoun. Percussit is a perfect tense verb, and the direct object is Telemachum with the adverb ferociter. So he kind of overplayed his hand there, and he ended up getting hurt. Tum principes per teriti clamorum magnum sustulurant, et ad animas quam celerime cocorerunt. So then the terrified princes raised a great clamor and ran towards the doors as quickly as possible. All right, so both perfect tense verbs. Quam celerime introduces an adverbial clause of comparison. Etiam inter se pugnabant quod ex ire non poterant. They even were fighting among themselves because they were not able to exit. Inter se is a prepositional phrase with a reflexive pronoun. Pugnabant is imperfect tense verb, and poterant is perfect. Taking that complementary infinitive, and quod is subordinating it as a causal clause. So it's a type of adverbial clause. Ursa quam hic clamor teruerat ad lectum cucurit. So the bear, which this clamor had terrified, had frightened, rushed to the couch. So the main clause is the bear rushed to the couch, perfect tense verb, by the way. The quam introduces a relative clause referring back to the bear. It is feminine and singular because Ursa is feminine and singular, is accusative because it's the direct object of teruerat, which is a pluperfect tense verb. And hic clamor is the subject of that. So hic is a demonstrative pronoun. So this clamor, this noise, had terrified which bear? Right? That's why it's going to be accusative. So the bear, which this clamor had terrified, rushed to the couch. The couch, ubi rex sedebat, where the king was sitting. Right? Imperfect tense verb. Rex tamen quod claudicabat effugere non poterat. So the king, however, because he was lame, was not able to flee. So this is a causal clause right there, introduced by quod. Poterat is an imperfect tense verb, right? I think that I somewhere up above incorrectly identified poterat as perfect tense. It's not perfect tense; it's imperfect tense. My apologies on that one. Yep, and it means that he was not able, and to take this complementary infinitive right here, which is effugere, so he was not able to flee. All right. Dumnorix in ursam frustra se coniecit. So Dumnorix in vain threw himself onto the bear. Right. So frustra is an adverb meaning in vain, and then he perfect tense coniecit through reflexive pronoun se himself, accused of direct object. Salvius immotus stabat. Salvius was standing motionless. Imperfect tense verb stabat. Sed Quintus hastam quam servus Germanicus tenebat rapuit. But Quintus seized rapuit, a spear, hastam, quam, which the servus Germanicus, which the German slave tenebat was holding, imperfect tense verb. So rapuit is perfect tense. So putting it all together again, but Quintus seized a spear which the German slave was holding. Hastam celeriter emisit et bastiam saevam transfixit. So he emisit, he threw the hastam, he threw the spear quickly, celeriter, et, and pierced, transfixit, bastiam saevam, the savage beast. So he threw the spear quickly and pierced the savage beast. Illa decidit mortua. That one fell dead. All right, so illa is the demonstrative pronoun, and it's the subject, and mortua is in opposition to illa. So that one fell down. And then how was that one falling down? Who was it? Let's describe it more. And it was a dead bear, right? All those verbs right there, emisit, transfixit, indicated, are perfect tense verbs. All right, guys, so that is the end of this translation. We've got one more for the stage. I will see you there.